Okay. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Peace, family. Can everybody hear me today? Can everybody hear me today, this evening? If you can hear me, press 1 or say yes below. The frogs start going crazy, so I had to get a mic. Okay. Yeah. Yup. All right. All right, y'all can hear me? Okay. What was that? All right, so a lot of y'all have been connecting with nature, finding some information out about yourselves that is quite unbelievable. You know, all the things they have done to us in this reality have been so we could not achieve the level of information that was ours anyway. Or you finally got the alert. Good, good. We're going to talk about something that we need to speak about. It's been on my mind. It's on my mind a lot lately. Been on my mind for years, years. And I always wondered why it was on my mind like this. I could do it the way everybody else was doing it. I used to. Um, but when you realize what you are, you gain a lot of respect for yourself. A lot of respect for yourself when you realize what you are. And you don't do things the old way anymore. No matter how much you have that old memory of what you used to do, you don't do it no more. You want to do it right. So we're going to talk today about community. Some people call it polygyny. Uh, we're going to talk about community because we are in the last days. The last days for them, the beginning for us. When people begin to say it's the end of the world, it's not the end of the world for us. It's the beginning of the world for us. It's the end of the world for those who enslaved our thought processes, you know? And I was thinking, I was watching the movie last night because I was led to watch X-Men First Class last night to achieve some more downloads so it can make sense of how deep they have us psychologically. And in this particular movie, Jean Grey actually was being held down mentally by Professor X. He was enslaving her mind, locking her down because the beast that was within, he felt was dangerous. Now, she may have not been dangerous, but as he viewed it, not being able to control, they view that which you cannot control as dangerous. So in my mind, Professor X was an op, trying to stop the great beast from coming online, which is you. So if you imagine society as Professor X, they have put up different walls and mental blockages in your brain that you don't even realize are there. And when these things begin to break away, it is very painful for you to remember these things. It is very painful for you to remember these things. All I ask you to do is question your pain. Question why don't you like it. Question why you cannot process certain data when somebody hears it. Question why you push it away immediately without thinking. Aren't you a being that thinks? Or do they think for you? So Jean had realized that she had, been enslaved by his mind because, and everybody in the movie was mad at him. Like, yo, what'd you just do? Like, I don't even trust you. Who are you? Who are you? That's what you think has your back when you go to the white coats, when all the authoritarian positions that we used to see as power when we didn't know ourselves, realizing that they were just afraid of us. So they had to tell us certain things so we could think it was normal. And then one day, when other things begin to happen and other thought processes begin to happen, they wouldn't have to lift a finger. We would be fighting internally the whole entire time. And that leads the issue of monogamy versus polygyny. Now, when you begin to eat these weeds, family, because many of you are aboriginal to the land, and wherever you live, if you step on the geography barefoot, the weeds and the intelligence of nature will scan your body, and it will know what's wrong with you, or how to make something right even better with you, or what it is you want. And it will begin to place those weeds in your backyard. And if you begin to do your research on them and eat them, they'll begin to talk to you and communicate with you and tell you who you actually are. Your dreams will begin to change. That's for sure. That's for sure. And they'll begin to tell you. So what they've been telling me for years, and this is amplified, is about community and how we used to be of community. See, we live in a colonial society, colonizer society. And the colonizer wanted us to think that we are individuals, but we're really a unit. No one bigger than the other. And we do things for each other. So when they tell us that, and we look at our current lives, and we ignore certain things about ourselves, men, you ignore your urges if you're with one woman. We all do. Let's keep it a buck. Matter of fact, if we're going to keep it a buck, just so we can understand and have some crowd participation so y'all know I'm on the right track. Any man who is with a woman or who has been with a woman in a relationship, is your urge to be with just her forever? Or does it begin to go away because you realize that as you ascend in consciousness, you actually need more than just physicality that one woman can't do? Or when you're with a woman, no matter how much you love her, you see another woman and you're like, oh, yeah. Now, not like on a sick tip, just on this tip like, yo, because we're built to be fruitful and multiply. We are built like that. And women are built to consume the data or the hard drive from one man. One man. Why? Because she's supposed to be the portal for his entire generation. What is that? I know that's not a frog. Y'all can't hear it because I have the noise reduction on. But this culture that we're in teaches us one man, one woman. But it also shows us that men can marry men and women can marry women. I'm not even going to get into the kids thing because that's just too far. I don't even like thinking about that. But if you are someone who wants to take on more than one wife, you're labeled as a bad person. And what happens is society will begin to ridicule you as well. Because society has a program in them too that attacks anybody that does that. It puts it in the men's mind to, abuse the women that they are with. Because if they're a man that is of low thought and low frequency, all this man thinks about is sex on a physicality type of level. He doesn't think about, his mental faculties, his emotional intelligence. So he uses it incorrectly. And what they do with those men is they push those men at you so you can think that all the men are like that. And it corrupts the women and it scares them. Right? So they always use examples that are corrupted. A man taking advantage and doing all kinds of bullshit with the women. Right? But that's not the way it works. The way it works is, first things first, every man was not even allowed to have more than one wife, if not one wife, until he earned a certain level of understanding, a certain level of trade, right? A certain level of realization, and went through trials to even gain that one. No men go through that anymore. And the women, she had to be of basically a virgin, with an open-mindedness, a good father, and a good community that she comes from. Because they knew that when this woman came over here and she had his genome, these mindsets must be great enough to be able to produce young and offspring that was of, what's the word I want to use? Offspring that was of power. I'll use it like that. I know. Power. If you are choosing a woman or a man that is not of that level, your children will suffer because of your particular consciousness at that time. So they made sure with polygyny that you had this particular level of consciousness and you had to meet this particular level of consciousness. And then inside the community, the male could spread his genome of thought processes, because now we're moving as a family, which means we have one unit, right? The mindset is, yes, we have different mindsets, but we have a foundation of beliefs. And everybody has a role, because family used to be a business, you see? It wasn't always about sacred energy exchange. And what I'm seeing, family, is that as we have to repopulate Tamaray, right? We have to repopulate this earth. Many men will be, well, actually not many men, many women will be approached by many women. Many men will be approached by many women, right? It says that seven women shall approach one man, go to one man. And I think we're getting really close to that, because there's not going to be a lot of us out here. And I got an idea. It's going to be more women than men, because they're the ones that's creation and we're the ones who implant. So the thought process has to be high enough to be able to do that. And a lot of people are not ready for that. I know for me, in this thought process, I need to do some more things before I'm ready for that. You know, and everybody in the family has a role. But the man, he is the leader of it all. But he has to have supreme mental intelligence, be able to delegate responsibility, be able to harness his power, have knowledge. Oh, big B right here. Big B. Chilling. I'm not even going to move. He must have knowledge of self. So if I was you, if you're a man and you're watching this, because a lot of men are very afraid. It's funny. They got us afraid of so many things that we don't even realize how soft that is, comparable to what we are on the microcosm. Men afraid to admit, yeah, I can love many women at once if I wanted to. But you got people doing this shit in secret, right? A lot of men are out here cheating, running around these streets, just implanting this woman and that woman and that woman with his DNA, which is going to be in her for the rest of her life, in her brain for the rest of her life. You're basically plugging your hard drive into a computer. That's what she is. You see what I'm saying? So you have to realize, family, that you got work to do if this is what you want. But people are afraid to even admit that this is what they want. And women have a difficult time going past the sex aspect. If you're with a real man, he don't want you for your body. He wants you for your attributes, because he realizes that with your character, your attributes, your consciousness, that is going to bring him an offspring powerful enough to help all of you once that offspring reaches maturity. And he ensures that his offspring continues to advance, because that is the job of the physical body. The body's always trying to get better. So it wants to be sure that this genome is at peak development from both people before that baby is born. Like, I'm talking about babies born out of love. A baby born out of love is much different than a baby born in a one night stand. If you just observe people that you know, because it's really about the genome, right? If you observe the people that you know, and you observe the situation that they were in when they made these children, right? Because I observed mine, and they're all different based on who I was when I had them, right? I'm speaking from experience. I've had to experience these things to know the difference. I'm not speaking of something I read. I'm speaking of experience and downloads at the same time, which makes me an expert, okay? And reading. So I have all three. And if you look at people that have one night stand kids, their kids normally have more developmental problems. normally are in separate homes, so that already going to give them developmental problems. Then observe people who are in love, in a unit of structure, and observe those children and see how much developed those children are comparable, which means that it's best to have children in structure and not under stress. Now, I'm transparent, yo. I have to use my experience so you can understand that I really know what I'm talking about here. I look at my situation, right? I'm like, okay, I got kids. Okay. Who was I when I had these children? What is it they're dealing with right now because of who I was at that point? Because your children will suffer for that which you have not resolved in your life yet. If you have a habit which you have not changed yet, your children will suffer because of your decisions. If not, they already are suffering, right? They will suffer. They will. And you must have a unit. Because I think about some things too. I'm like, okay, one man, one woman, 3, 4 children, right? Now, what I've observed from these relationships, these marriages with one man and one woman, I observed that if you put your all into the children and you don't really have a community behind you, like a real community where you don't got to drop them off at grandma's house or grandpa's house or auntie house a half an hour away. I'm talking about somebody right there. So you could be the best version of yourself. They could be the best version of themselves, and them children could be the best version of themselves all at the same time. What I've noticed with parents, when they put their all into the children and neglect themselves, is they neglect themselves, which means they age quicker. And when that child grows to maturity and leaves and does their own lives, they're resentful because they've given up a lot of youth for this child. They've sacrificed themselves for the child, and that wasn't what you were supposed to do. But you're having children without proper instruction. And before we had proper instruction, so we didn't have children like we have now. And what solves this is community, which is why they try to outlaw community, because they know that we can fix ourselves if we don't need them. The more of us that come together with the same thought process as a unit, the more dangerous we are. The less we need them, the more dangerous we are. The more dangerous we are, the more we populate this world with a different mindset of children. Because if we have somebody here that does this, this, and that, we could put our children through a whole entire program before they even see us again. But they're developed, same thought process, and I'm developed as well, which means I'm better for all of you. But everybody want to do it their own. You want to pride yourself the fact that you're a single mother. There's nothing prideful about the fact that you made a bad decision. There's nothing prideful about the fact that, I'm a father that is not with the mother of his children. That's nothing prideful about to brag about. Nothing at all. It's a mistake. When many people realize they had a legacy, they normally already fucked it up. Right? You already fucked it up. Men shouldn't even be having children until they are in their 30s. That's when you're like your brain turns on around 33 for real. Like your real consciousness, if it hasn't caught you before, a lot of y'all caught you before, okay? But for us in the 80s, a lot of us woke up around 30 something. Okay, y'all waking up a little sooner now, but we was waking up around in the 30s. I still don't think you should even do anything like I'm talking about until you've reached a certain level of experience. What makes a man is his experience, what he's been able to persevere through. That's when you find out what kind of man you are, when you go through some real shit. And women, if you don't have a father in your life, it's time to get around women or that have experience with knowledge, that consciousness, like real consciousness, or tapped into their femininity, and read books on it too. I think there's a book out called The Way of the Superior Woman, right? But if you're on your emotions and you allow your emotions to take you over because of what I'm saying, because of what is going to happen, I know for a fact in this lifetime, I'm going to have many wives and a full community of people. I already know it. I know many of you will too, which is why you came here. You didn't come here to just be enslaved and then boom, blow it all up. That's corny. You didn't come here for that. You came here to actually be enslaved and remember that you weren't a slave and change the whole thing. When you thought your reality was this. but it really was everything. You see? Now, as far as building your community, right? A person needs to have a certain level of discernment before they even build their community. Before I speak, can y'all hear those frogs in the background? Because they're all over the place. Can y'all hear those frogs? Because they about to go in. I have the noise canceling on, but I don't know if y'all can't hear them or not. Can y'all hear the frogs? Yeah, okay, they loud? Okay. Okay, y'all. Are they loud though? Because they going ham right now. Are they loud? I know, guys. Yeah, they going in. All right, can y'all, but can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me over them? Nature, I tell you. All right, bet. All right, I'm loud. Okay, my bad, y'all. You can't hear me over them? Loud. Okay, I'm loud. I'm loud. Okay, it's good music. Okay. All right, I'm just checking. I don't know how to turn the volume down this thing. I have to learn how to do it. I don't know how to turn the volume down now. I don't know how to turn it down. Okay. Yeah. Now, about building your community, right? Matter of fact, how about we do this? How about we do this? How about y'all can hear them? I'm gonna just take this off. Let me see. I want to be sure. We good now? Are we better now? Are we better? Okay, bet. Say less. Okay. All right. Okay. Clearer. Bet. All right. Now, can anybody join? No. Absolutely fucking no. Fuck you think this is? No. Never. Anybody can't even be around me these days. Nevertheless, join something like that. You must be able to have a certain level of discernment so you know who to choose and be around to be around you. A certain level of discernment, right? And women want to feel safe, man. They want to feel secure. You want to be able to provide that for them, whether it's mental security, emotional security, a home, their own room, if they need to have it. You need to be at a particular place before that even came to you. A lot of men do it in a way where it's been taught to them in the society by having multiple women that don't know each other. And he's sharing their energy with each other too. Even if he wraps it up, he still is fusing bodies with her, which is transferring the energy that she didn't approve over here to the other one. Right? When you are doing many women like that don't know each other, this is deceptive. And now, because I'm going to tell you, let's see what you do after that. After I just told you now. I'm telling you now. Now you're responsible. If you're with a woman, right, and you're still intimate with this woman, right, and you choose to be intimate with another woman, and you don't run it by this woman, you're sharing energy that she didn't approve to be shared. Okay? And that's not cool. So, don't do that. Keep it 100 with the one that you're with and say, listen, I'm going to go share energy with this queen. If you don't approve of it, we probably should break up because this is what I want to do. Respectfully. You know? And also, polygyny is not about the women doing it with each other too. That's what they made y'all think too. Women sleeping, like you could sleep in the same bed is one thing, but having sex with each other is a different ballgame. Now you're dealing with something that's not all the way. That's not what we really did. We didn't really do it like that. That was taught to us too by people who were doing it the wrong way. Right? So that's not what we do as well. But back to the subject, a lot of women think it's only about sex. And a lot of men can't do it because they can't even handle one woman. Nevertheless, 2, 3, or 4 in the same. Do you realize how difficult it is to have multiple women in the same home? That's not an easy thing. I grew up around women, so I know that's not an easy thing. I can't imagine if I had wives like that. If I had the emotional balance that I had younger, no. You have to do so many things. Okay, how about this, right? Men, how many times you want to actually do it? Women, how many times do men have it in them to have sex? Since it's always about sex for some women. How many times? As a man gets older, he's not going to be just doing it all the time because he's going to realize how powerful his semen is. So he's not going to be able just to have the energy to do it because he needs to be building the foundation of the family, doesn't he? Which means he needs to be working, doesn't he? Teaching, doesn't he? Which means he's busy. So it's very important to have everybody in the household on their purpose so people aren't worried about sacred energy exchange all the time. When you're on your purpose, you're not always worried about that. When you're not on your purpose, you're in your root. You're not in your crown space. You're in your root. So you're always thinking with that area. When you're on your purpose, when you're on your mission, when you're focused, you don't even feel like that all the time. I know that for me, when I'm on my purpose, more like I'm going harder, I'm utilizing that energy that's in the root and I'm throwing it up there. So it's not even firing off in the root, right? It's not even fired off. And a lot of men, when we are on our shit, we don't be wanting to do that anyway. We don't. And a lot of women, y'all can go without for a minute. And if you're a woman and you have a high sex drive and you're always trying to have sex, there's something going on with you. There's nothing wrong with having a high sex drive, but if you're always trying to have sex all the time, there's something wrong with you. You may have taken on the life force of a man who had that energy with him, and his data went into you, and now you think it's you because it's fused with you. Like the movie Venom, he spit his ooze into you, and now you think it's you. Something controls you. You got to get that together. Read the book, The Wounded Womb, by Dr. Phil Valentine. You know? And as you begin to move into the new dimension, the new realm that we're living in, you are respectful of your physical body. Your physical body becomes, the church. It becomes the church. Females too, it becomes the church. I try to tell the women that I used to date and that I could be dating now, woman, because I don't have more than one woman right now, but I will. And the woman that I'm with knows that that's how I feel, because I'm honest. And at the end of the day, when that does happen, it's only going to happen because I've manifested that in my own life. I have reflected the same level of energy that I'm projecting and exuding. I have to be actually what it is, because if you're not what you are, family, you're going to attract the fake aspect of you that you yourself can't see. And then you're going to have a woman in the same cycle, or you're going to have a man in the same cycle that you were in, that you ignored and you didn't work on. So if you want these things in your life, you need to really, really look into yourself. You can manifest anything, family. Anything. In my world, anything that I ever wanted happened already. So I had to make new manifestations. I didn't know it was going to happen that quickly. I have to be able to move as if it's going to happen. I can't worry about the details of how it's going to happen, because then I'm going to ruin how it actually happens. By thinking I control things that I do not yet understand, I know that if I'm God creator, I'm going to create. Put it out there. Think about it. You magnetize it to you, and you become the person that exists at that time. Become the person that can handle more than one wife. Become the person who can exist, the female who can exist in the community and actually see outside of herself and be happy about where she is in the community and realize that it's not about her. It's for the genome. You want to be a single mom? You want to choose another wrong man? You want to have another kid with another wrong man? You want to do that again? You know, you want to, okay, well then go ahead and do it again. Or you want to be on your own, because last time I checked, family, when we had COVID, the women, a lot of the women, they look bad. They look bad. They were struggling. They realized how much they like men around, fix things, and protect them. A lot of them did. A lot. A lot. You know. I hear y'all. They talking. You hear them talking, y'all? One over there. Over there. Over there. Over there. They're dope. Should you have to for each? Let me see. I guess he says you have to be at a certain financial status before thinking on that life. I don't think that the way we are viewing finances and wealth is the way it's going to happen. There's something else that's coming that's going to change the way we view wealth and finances, because a lot of people, women, will judge men based off of how much money they make, but not off of who they are and their intellect. No matter how much they can move and, you know, and master this reality of making something that's not real, if they've made themselves something, don't matter where they are, they're preparing for what's coming next. So a lot of women judge men off of, you know, or I want a man that makes 6 figures. Okay, you want him, but you got a man of 6 figures with all kinds of shit. He don't give a fuck about you. He's smashing all kinds of women. He's materialistic, which I'm going to get into. And now he takes care of you, yes. But now you got all kinds of STDs. You're not happy. You never see him. He always works. He has nothing to teach you. He's looking at you like a piece of meat and a commodity because you wanted a high value man. You got exactly what you wanted. Because you allowed this society to tell you what a high value man is. People like Kevin Samuels will tell you like what a high value man is. A high value man has nothing to do with money. It does not. It does not. All right? If you know how to plant and till your own lands, right? That's more valuable than money. Or isn't the money to buy that stuff that you just grew out of? If you can teach a woman how to do for herself and how to find her real aspects, that makes you a high value man. If you can emotionally support a woman when she's at her worst, and when she's losing her emotions, stay calm with her. While she's losing it, stay calm. You're a high value man. If you're a man who operates in love, right? And sometimes it can feel like people are trying to just take from you. But you know the laws of the universe. So you know whatever you put out, you get back. But you stay in the love space. You're a high value man. And there's not many high value men truly out there. There's not. There's people who are materialistic. And one thing about polygyny, it has nothing to do with material possession. It's something far greater than what you can put on your body or what you can dress up like. Right? It's way deeper than that. Way deeper than that, family. Way deeper. Way deeper. In a way, the male in the polygamous relationship, he has to forgo his materialistic urges and transform his urges into the foundation of the family. Now his materialistic nature is based off of now my possessions or my things that I create, my children, the mental acuity of my wives is my new material possessions, but it's no longer material. It is now physical possessions, but not like I own you. I have helped you become the best version of yourself, and it's because I'm in your lives now. And the man prides himself on being that for his family. A lot of men don't know that because we want to put rims on our vehicles and think that this colonial type of society is what it is. That's why everybody, when people get in an argument, what do they say? They try to neutralize it. I got more money than you. As if that means anything to anybody who knows themselves. You have put all this time into gaining something with somebody else's face on it that they create out of thin air to make you feel like they were actually richer than what they were after they stole your land. So you basically model yourself off of that. I already know who I'm talking to. It's not about how much money you make. And females, I'm not a female, but I am somebody who has existed in many lives with many wives. Many lives. This is like the first one. And from my perspective, when you're in a relationship, in a polygynous relationship, whatever y'all want to call it, I noticed that when she has more women around her, she has more of a support system that really loves her, she keeps herself up too. I noticed that in relationships, when you are just one woman and one man, she kind of like, not all of them, and I'm not going to say all of them, but I'm just only speaking from my perspective and my experience and how comfortable I've made people. And what they do is they begin to fall off and lose care. If you ever been with a woman that falls off after she gets with you, it's like, yo, you wasn't like this hot. But women are not learning their man. I think that's very important in a relationship, to learn their man. To learn what makes him tick, what gets him going, to learn him. We have, a lot of red pillars like to say this. They like to say that women have no game. And I gotta keep it a buck. I would agree. They don't have any game because they were never told they had to even develop themselves but be pretty. And that's a trap for you, because your beauty is not going to last forever. So you have to be able to develop something else that will sustain you when your beauty begins to decline, because it will. To the point where you'll never, ever not look beautiful to him, because you're bringing something more valuable than physical attraction to him. You're bringing something much more deeper and much more of substance, which he can see through. So now he's looking directly at your soul. He's not looking at you he's not looking at your physical. He's looking at your soul. But if you can't develop yourself, you haven't, because you've only been moving life because you're pretty, then you don't know that. And then when you finally lose your looks, now you're actually moving uphill with a goddamn weight on your back. A weight on your back, because you lost your beauty, and now you don't know how to freak to get a man. Because you were told that in your 20s you had to drink and smoke and party and bullshit and put all kinds of data in you. All these men, all that data, all that, your CPMs are freaking overloaded. And you got emotional problems out the wazoo. A lot of y'all don't deserve one man until y'all get that together. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. But what do they say about women sometimes? The only ability is that they don't have is accountability. And I'm not saying it, I've experienced it. But women listening to me say this, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not calling you a bitch, which is a dog star priestess anyway, but I'm not calling you a bitch or nothing like that. I'm telling you what a lot of men say. So even if you choose to do it with one man, you will be able to keep him, because you're understanding how he ticks. All of our lives and all of these movies and all of these 90s R&B shows was us on bended knee for you. But what were you doing for us? And this is what made the women selfish. The creator goddess made her selfish, because he had to worship her forever and she didn't have to do anything. But that's not how it works. It's reciprocity in a relationship. Love me, I love you, and it bounces back off, so both parties do not feel drained and used. But then you got to choose a partner that knows these things, because if you get with a partner who doesn't know these things, you're fighting an uphill battle, aren't you now? And many of you have been in these relationships. You get with a partner and you try to change them before they're ready to change. But who likes the alarm clock? You've been the snooze button in your whole relationship. Your whole relationship, you've been the snooze button. If you want to attract that person, become the person that you would like that person to be. If you want to attract them. They do say opposites attract, but people who are similar also attract as well. Very much so. If you're with a woman and you can't tell her how you truly feel, you're not in a real relationship because you're afraid to hurt her feelings, so you don't want to be real with her. If you're with a man and you can't tell him how you feel, how is he ever going to get better if you yourself can't check him? And if you check him and he can't take it, then he ain't ready for you. He ain't ready for you. If he can't take constructive criticism, then he ain't ready. Yeah, honesty is great. You know? Yes. It's the highest frequency. And you know, some people cannot take your honest self. But if you love this person and you're being real with them, right? And you're being real with them, that's what they say they want. Put them to the test. Put them to the test. Because when you lie, they get really mad. So now they say they want honesty, but then they get really mad too. So which one do you want? Be real or fake? Right? Be real or fake? And then they expose themselves. And then you have to do something with that. Because if a person doesn't want you to be real with them, that means the foundation of your relationship is fake. And right now, many of you are in training for the next level when that does come with the polygyny thing. I don't think it's going to happen now. I think many people are beginning to discover each other from past lives. I do think that. I'm discovering people that I know from past lives for sure, you know? And they are probably going to be a part of that thing I have. But right now, it's not right. It's not going to happen right now. Not in that level, but we have to build. But we have to build ourselves more than anything. Build ourselves. Remember, y'all can manifest anything that you want to manifest. Whatever you say is a limitation for you is a limitation because the God of creation makes it's a limitation. Stop saying you can't do anything and begin saying anything that you put your mind to, you can do. And begin to manifest that. And get crazy with it too. Get wild with it. Get wild with your manifestations. And things will begin to happen to you because the only reason that you can think it is because it's real. It's real. It is. It is. I know many of you have achieved a certain level of consciousness where you cannot be around certain people. You cannot be. And it's difficult to achieve that person that you can really talk to him that understands who you are. You have to be patient. Somebody told me today, patience. I'm like, yeah, you're right. There's levels to patience. There's levels to patience. Levels, right? We think we got patience. I got patience. Until something happens which tests our patience. And then we got to check our patience. Like, okay. All right, I'm not being patient. I got to work on that. You know? And a lot of y'all with these activations and things, this is really testing your patience. You know? Knowing things are beginning to happen and they're not happening as fast as you thought they would because this was pushed out. This was pushed out to you that it was happening at this date by certain people, whether they realize it or not. That's why I told you after the eclipse, if y'all don't get powers, don't be tripping about it. I prepared you because I knew it wasn't going to happen like that. When you begin to read the Matrix, you begin to read how it makes you think. You know? It's slower. It's slower. And it's testing us right now because for many of us, we're struggling to live in a 3D and do the same mundane 3D things like paying bills and going to work, having the same nutty, buddy, clutty conversations, talking about sports or politics or drama or anything that is not of higher frequency, A lot of us are just over it. And now we have to be patient as we can continue to develop and go there. We have to be very, very patient now, don't we? Polygyny will be happening. And some people will not be participating in it, and that's fine too. You'll probably be in the community. But those who have buildings, everybody doesn't have the same role as well. Everybody's not going to do it. Those who feel like to do it will do it. And those who don't, won't. And that's cool both ways, to be honest with you. It really is. We don't need everybody to rebuild TMI. All we need is a few tribes. You know? That's all we need. Everybody has a particular task in this community, in this world. But we have to rebuild Tiamat. Tamaray, not Tiamat, Tamaray. Tamaray, Planet Kai, whatever you want to call this realm that we live in. Many of y'all going to transform too. That's going to be dope. When you realize what you can do with your bodies for real. Like some of y'all have the ability of like Mystique in X-Men. Some of y'all had, it's funny because I was just thinking about one of the abilities I had where I could just take, like my body could split and I can go over there and I could do something to somebody and I could be sitting right here. And then I saw the ability in X-Men. I forgot that it was even in X-Men. The guy that could split up in his bodies and be actually physical. Yeah, that's real. We could do that. We could do that. Yeah. But from my perspective, I have to teach, and I have to rebuild the bloodline. Yeah. And I know a lot of men, you out there, you're doing it to a lot of women, but you're not doing it the right way. And one day that's going to get you if you're being deceptive. I know it got me. I know it did. And I got to deal with that. But it don't got to get you. And some people have to go through the experience and tell you what it's like so you don't want to go through it yourself. Just learn from those who made the mistakes when they didn't know themselves and learn from their experiences. And women, if you did not choose the right man, stop choosing the wrong man. Because you're dealing with your karma too if that's the case. We're not supposed to raise children alone. We're not supposed to raise children alone. Okay? That kills the soul. I know we convince ourselves and we make the best out of it, but that kills the soul. Okay? We're not supposed to give our whole experience to another person. I'm sorry. I never believed in that ever. I'm going to still have fun while the fuck I'm here. I'm not going to sit here and give this whole experience to a child. You've lost me with that one. You've lost me with that one. And when I see my friends that gave their experience to their children and they're fat and they look old and they slow and they just don't look happy, I'm like, see, that's why I'm glad I figured out how to make my children happy and still have fun here. Because forget what you got going on. Forget that. How many people are your age and look like they're 20 years older than you? Because they gave their whole life to their children. Where am I drawing that? Because how many people that like, they gave their whole life to their kids because they ain't had no support system. Because these grandparents is getting worse out here. For every generation that we pass, grandparents don't want to be the same thing their grandparents are. He came out here to say hi to y'all. He's saying hi to y'all. Thalamus. Sing. Oh, he going the other way now. That's the one I'll be talking to in the, you know what I mean? But yeah, grandparents aren't the same for every generation. I've noticed the grandparents are, they're just not like as supportive as the older school grandparent. Like we are losing, for every generation we go through, we're losing community. For every generation. Every last one of them. So we have to be the ones to do something about this and support each other, because a lot of us don't support each other. Who's this? Come on, Magic. What's up? They all coming outside today. They on duty. What's up? Yeah. Yeah, it's here's another thing too, family. It's my other one. It's my other one. Now here's another thing, family. Once you achieve a certain level of awareness, knowledge of self, do you want just anybody watching your children? Once you achieve a certain level of consciousness, do you want just anybody to watch your children? So now dropping them off at your mom's house is a little different now because, you know, she don't know herself, so she might give them some bullshit. You might be sitting there watching just some nonsense or hearing your mom say something because your mom is asleep. So do you want to drop them over to your mom's house? Because now you know what happens when a person is ignorant. And when a person is ignorant, they're actually dangerous to your children, aren't they? Because you realize that your children are a sponge, right? So now whatever your children process, they're going to process from them. So when your family is no longer your family anymore, they're actually dangerous. So who do you have to lean on? Because if we're living in a world where many people are not conscious, who are we going to trust our kids with? Oh, you mean to tell me you're going to be with your kids all the time? You're going to be with your kids all the time. So how you going to fulfill your purpose if you're with them all the time? Unless you have a community. But it's not time for that yet, but it will be. I'm speaking about when it's time for that. They got a community. If you look at insects and cats and all kinds of other animals, they be in communities. Deer, communities. It's not even about them. It's about the spreading of the genome. We used to be like that. We're not anymore. I feel like I can understand them. I really feel like I can understand them. Have you been hearing animals talk? And like birds, like a bird will come up to you or up the tree and you'll feel like it's talking directly to you. Have y'all felt like that? Have y'all felt like that? I'm telling you, family, it is beginning to happen. And if you're eating the weeds, you're going to get knowledge so much faster if you're eating the weeds. Oh yeah, the insects and nature out here loves what I'm doing. They love that I'm standing up for them. They absolutely love that I'm standing my ground with them. Everybody around me cut their grass and they looking at me like, I'm not talking to this black man. This nigga crazy. But this is some bullshit. This nigga need to cut his lawn. I read their minds. That's what they be saying about me out here. Because I'm standing up for nature. If you don't stand up for nature, it can't stand up for you. Sometimes you have to do things that are difficult, that most people aren't doing to be able to get something that nobody else has. You know what I'm saying? Peace. If you do cut it high. I don't want to cut it at all. I'm going to let the township come and see me first before I do it. So, but I do eat clovers. I eat clovers from time to time. I eat daisies. I eat the purple or prickly things. We have the mugwort. We hang in the mugwort right now. Yeah. So, telling you, if y'all getting bit out here, if you out here getting attacked by bees and shit, it's because your frequency is low and you probably be killing the grass. And every single time you cut the grass sends a signal to the surrounding ecology to say it's in danger. That's the smell of grass. It's distress. That's what you're smelling when you smell it. It's distress. Imagine how you would smell if they cut your arm off and it grew back. It'd probably be a little smell to that. You know what I mean? I notice when you vibe high, animals gravitate to you, but humans don't. It's strange. No, it's not. Let me tell you why it's not strange. The reason why it's not strange when you get closer to animals and you get farther from humans is because humans forget that they're animals too. Humans forget that they're nature. They're mostly synthetic beings at this point, right? So at this point, if you get closer to nature, these synthetic beings do not know who they are. So you're getting away from the programming they think they are, that they're not. That's why you're vibing with the animals. They don't vibe with the animals. Humans do not vibe with animals. They vibe with the animals they want to deal with. They vibe with cats, dogs, gerbils. How you vibe with a gerbil but you can't vibe with a mouse? How you vibe with a hamster but you can't vibe with a rat? They're basically the same thing, with one with a tail and one without a tail. Really. But a human, a synthetic human, doesn't understand that. They don't. So this is why you vibe with animals and you go further from humans, because humans are disconnected from the ecology around them. So somebody said, what am I looking at right now? I have you on YouTube with a tan shirt on indoors. That's probably one of my premieres. I didn't realize my premiere. My team probably did that. That's funny. Hey, listen, what message are you going to get today? I didn't even know I had a premiere right now. That's pretty funny. But yeah, family, like, I hope you vibe with this conversation. You know, just give it some thought. Just give it some thought. It's going to happen. It's just some things we want to think about. Because even if you're in a relationship right now, you need to think about these things. Emotional control is very important for a masculine in a relationship. Because if you're out of balance, your one feminine will not respect you. Be real with her. Always. Even if you could lose her for being real with her, because it's nothing like not saying what's really on your mind and resenting her because you didn't speak your mind. And females, develop your femininity. A lot of females are in a masculine, heavy, and it turns men off if you're trying to be like them. Okay? We have our role, you have yours. You must learn your role, whatever your role is in his life, because it always is not the same role. Some men want a woman who actually has a career and has her purpose and she's out there. Some men want a woman who's at home. Some men want a woman to have fun with. Why they just do they whatever. Like, I say just get all of them. But it depends on what kind of man you are and how much you can handle. That's a lot to handle. It's a lot to handle. It is. It's a lot. Men need to bring the masculine women we'll all seek. Yeah, men need to bring them. I don't understand that. Men need to bring the masculine women we'll all seek balance first. Men, hey, listen. If you're a man, what you should read is The Way of the Superior Man. If you're a woman and a man, you should read The Science of Love. This is based off of Hermetic Principles, which is actually more what we come from. The Hermetic Principles, Hermetic philosophy. You know, the way we view love is actually skewed. I have to read that book again. I read that book at least once every 6 months. I learn something new every single time I read that book. Every time. Every time. Oh, okay. Women will always, a special woman, I would say a special woman will always bring balance to what is needed. Some women don't even know how to bring balance. They're looking for the man to tell them what to do. When you are a woman that is in your femininity, you will know that man and you will know what to do. If the man has to tell you how to be a feminine, then what? Like that's not what it is. Like, I'm not supposed to have to tell you to be a feminine, how to be a feminine. You're supposed to learn that and bring the feminine to me while I'm in my masculine, because I'm learning how to be a masculine. I'm learning what feminine is, but it's not my job to tell you how to be a feminine. Like like Savan, right? I intuitively know how to be a masculine. Like, as we as men begin to evolve, these senses come online that we didn't have in our 20s or maybe earlier than that. And we intuitively know how to be a masculine. And we move in that. And we probably go on a path of discovery and we find out what that is, right? As a woman, you must also go on a similar path of discovery to find out what it is a feminine is. Truly a feminine is. And bring that to your man. Because if you come like that to him, or come always on your purpose, always on your path, always trying to figure out how to get yourself better, correct yourself, take his correction, be able to properly speak to him and correct him if you need to be, you are in your feminine. He loves to listen to you when you're in your feminine. He enjoys tapping into your heightened intuition. He enjoys it. I know a feminine that could tap into that for me. Ooh, that's a different type of woman. What the black cat represent behind you? I'm talking about thalamus. I live the life with that black cat. It's a guardian. I have cats all over the place. I have a black cat right there behind a tree. I'll put the camera on him. My cats guard the perimeter at night. My cats are ninjas. They're protectors. They're protectors. My cats protect me. They come outside. They run shifts. I have one over there in the house at the door. So I got guardians, family. Because cats, they shapeshift and they go in and out of portals. So black cats represent family and protection for me. Okay? I have reptiles all around me, as you see. All around me. Yeah. So, yeah. Yes. Yes. Protection, family. But I just can't wait till we can move to that space where we can all do this and we're there. Or, getting there is fun too, honestly, but I have visions of when we're there, and it's a great time to be around people that you trust. I know as a person on this path, it's difficult to be around people that you trust, or that you can even express yourself fully with and they'll understand you. That's a difficulty in itself. Talking like this to other people and they're just like, they tune out and they change the subject. It's like, damn, I just said something deep, but you ain't even catch that shit. Like, damn, who can I talk to out here? Like in person. I know a lot of y'all just, with all this knowledge, like, where do you put it, right? You put it into people like you, but you have to get to those people first and be patient. Be patient. Be patient. So, did y'all enjoy this conversation today? Are you enjoying this conversation today? If you have enjoyed this, what's up, Thalamus? Come here. You ain't gonna come? You gonna just stop right there? All right. You're gonna just stop right there. My guy. If you enjoyed this conversation, put a 1 below if you enjoyed this conversation today. It's not over yet, but did you enjoy it? Are you enjoying it? And when you're actually deep, when you're actually tapped into to Akashics, books are only a bonus for what it is that's naturally coming through to you. You have to be able to tap into all forms of information. And now that we're being accessed, or they're allowing us access to everything, we need to be able to utilize all the access. So if you have weeds around you, go find some, figure out what they do, and eat them, so that the earth can begin to teach you about what you are and what it is, and what you are to it and what it is to you. So you can begin to connect again to that. But if you're not eating the weeds right now, then you're not getting all of the information you possibly can get. Okay? Like I said in the beginning, if you go outside in front of your house, on your lawn, and in your backyard, or even in a patch of grass, and you step on it, the earth has a system where it can scan your body, because you're it, so it only plugs back into you, right? And it can know what's wrong with you. It can know what you need, know what you want to learn, And it will probably grow something around that area close by that is specially for you. Right? I'll give you an example. I was at somebody's house today, and this person had a thyroid issue. Now, I was speaking of the weeds to this particular person, trying to help them understand that their nature. This person just started their locks journey. So I'm trying to teach them about nature. And I'm telling them that the weeds are actually here because it is the end times for the old system, and the weeds have come back to teach and heal its people, the people that are aboriginal to the earth. And I was looking in the backyard, and I saw these green looking weeds. Now the grass was just cut, but these green weeds are already sprouting. I mean, not green, these purple and green weeds were already sprouting, right? I said, I bet you this main benefit for this weed is thyroid. And I was just telling her that the earth knows what's wrong with you when you step on it, because you're aboriginal. I go over there, I pull the weed out the ground, and I Google it. It's called a bungleweed, right? Do you know the main use of this weed is hyperthyroidism? No, mild hyperthyroidism. Mild hyperthyroidism for a person who had a thyroid issue growing in her backyard. Well. How nature tells you about itself and proves its point to you over and over and over again. Well. Ladies and gentlemen, we can talk to nature. It's been trying to teach us forever. We keep on killing the teachers because we let these motherfuckers out here tell us that we got to kill the teachers. The weeds are the teachers. It goes deeper than spirit guides, though. It's the earth. The earth has been your guide. In the physical, the earth says, you ain't looking at me. You're looking at the spirits, but you ain't looking at me. You could touch me. I could teach you. You know? Don't worry, you cut them, they'll come back. Weeds always come back. That's one thing we can be sure of, is weeds always come back. We can be sure of that. They persistent. And when you eat the energy of those weeds, you embody persistence. When you eat the energy of weeds, you embody strength. Right? When you eat the energy of those weeds, you embody. You ever try to pull a weed out the ground and how difficult it is to pull? It's rooted deep into the earth. You embody that. Did he just say eat weeds? Don't do it then. I don't care. I'm gonna get mine. I'm going to let nature teach me. Why do some people break out around bushes and grass? Is something internally? Of course, it's always something internally. People have allergies and all this stuff because there's something going on internally. Okay? There is. Always is. Y'all going in tonight. Oh, Mystique up there too? She outside too? Oh, I just saw one pop up. That was dope. He just popped up. Anyway. I'm having a good old time out in nature. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm live. I'm out here having a good old time. You know? But I bet you if you went on a 3-day fast, much of your allergies would go away. You're not supposed to be allergic of you. I think I had got this download back in like 2019. I'm like, interesting. I'm no longer allergic to nature because I was cutting my grass back then. And I'm like, I'm not sneezing anymore. What's a bat just flew down? That was crazy. That thing is low. What the? That was a bat. But when I began to eat healthier, I realized that I am not allergic to this shit no more. There's a lot of stuff moving in my backyard right now. Yeah. Yeah, the bats are flying really low right now. They're testing me left and right all day, every day. It's a mole behind you. Probably is. Probably is. Yeah, but like I said, eat the weeds, gain the information. If you want to read, read. But I bet you the weeds have more data than that. The weeds have more data than that. So, take it or leave it. I'm telling you, it's waking you up. It's waking you up. So, tap in, family. Tap in. Say some more. That's funny. I like jokes. I'm just like in my backyard, and I'm just looking about how happy nature is. I was having a conversation earlier with a fly. The fly kept on messing with me, and he sat on my hand. I was like, all right, come on over, let's talk, right? He sat on my hand, he's looking at me, I'm having a conversation with him. And I'm talking to the fly, like, listen, man, I know I just said I don't like y'all, but y'all kind of annoying because y'all up these. He says, no, you're going to work with me now so you can be able to deal with all of us, because you can't just like one and not the other. You have to like me too. So I'm going to continue to mess with you until you are used to me, and then I'll leave you alone. I said, oh, okay, you got it. You got it. You got it. Say less. You'll be able to talk to nature like that very soon. You'll be able to talk to nature like that very soon. Correct. Blow for it. So, for those who think it's strange or those who won't get it, because that's where we're going. Okay? Besides that, it's getting dark. Got to get in there. I hope y'all enjoyed the conversation tonight. If anyone wants to get anything from Earthly Elevation, we have a new product called Tri-10 with sea moss and bladderwrack, and we have neurocognizance. We have the Parasite Destroyer. If you are not getting information in, you probably got parasites in your body. You want to get those out. We also have Shilajit, which is fire. I took that. I'm probably not going to bed until 1 o'clock. I took it at 6, so I'm probably not going to bed till 1 o'clock this morning. And we have Vitamin X, the ultimate nutrient booster. You take Vitamin X with sea moss and bladderwrack. You're combining the land and sea nutrients together when you do that. Okay? And I made sea moss the cheapest one out of all of them, and bladderwrack the cheapest one out of all of them, just for those who need that. Grab that. Everybody's stuff got shipped today who ordered over the weekend. Anybody who buys tonight until 12 will get shipped tomorrow. Okay? But yeah. Yes, these new supplements, for anybody who doesn't know, they're all infused with sacred geometry, which is the oldest form of healing. It is a mind, body, and soul type of feel, family. Mind, body, soul. You have never taken a supplement before which affected your soul aspect. Most supplements are only physical and mental, right? What about the soul aspect? It's bringing them all together. It's using sacred geometry, which is where you derive from outside of this construct. And I've infused something outside this construct into each supplement that we use. Okay? Each supplement that we use. And if anybody likes my supplements, please go to my website and leave a review. We need reviews. We need reviews, family. We need those. Everybody needs to know the stories. Okay? Remember, if we're a community, we must begin to help each other, which brings something to the community. That's why I like to learn from people that reach out to me on the DM side that have these gifts, because you have something to offer me as well, just like I have something to offer you. Okay? So, yeah. Yeah, go leave a review, family. Go leave a review if you can. I just changed the site, so the reviews are at the top, right under the product where you can purchase it. Is right there. I just had my web developer change it so y'all can be able to see where it is. Okay? It's easy to find. And before last week, it was all the way at the bottom of the page. I didn't like it there, so I had to move it up. For anybody who wants to leave a review, please leave a review and purchase them, and you'll see what everybody's talking about. Besides that, it's dark. I love y'all. Until next video, I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.